Kendrick Perkins and Brian Scalabrine have been in a feud the past couple of days, as recently Kendrick Perkins was on the All the Smoke podcast hosted by Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, as Perkins addressed some things that Scalabrine had said in regards to the Celtics organization and Kendrick Perkins' relationship.
True that the Celtics banned you from ring night?
To be quite honest, I don't give a fuck, right? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck because here's the thing. I never take winning the championship for granted.
Right.
But they act like you have to be tied to that situation or that's your life, right? Like, it was an honor to play for one of the most historical franchises. I never take that for granted.
Right.
I think what ended up happening was, I said a take about Joe Mazzulla. They win the championship and Brian Scalabrine, fucking Scal, is like, well, the door's not just open for him to come back to the Celtic organization. Now, it's two things I took from there. One, Scal, who the fuck are you?
Right.
You was the same motherfucker that when we won a championship was in street clothes, hurry up and went changed into your jersey. So once we started taking pictures, you could know that you was part of the team. And I actually like Scal, but I thought that should have been a phone conversation, right? Started this season, I actually get an email from Joe Mazzulla saying, whenever you're free, if you're in Boston or we play the Rockets, I want to go to dinner and break bread.
So you gonna take that dinner with Mazzulla?
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually starting to love the way that he is.
And you gotta think, like, his growing pains were on TV. He was thrown in the fire immediately.
Yeah.
And he got exposed in that first round of the playoffs. And I think, like most players, he went back and got better from it.
He did.
It was suggested that Perkins was banned from any Celtics celebration and wasn't welcome around the team due to his past comments regarding Joe Mazzulla or Celtics players.
You have the other Joe Mazzulla who just stands over there and you wonder, like, if you take his brain out and you put it in the bird is going to start flying backwards, okay? You got that Joe Mazzulla. You know why I say that? No. Because he doesn't...
Brian Scalabrine responded to Kendrick Perkins' comments on both the radio and podcasts. Here's some of them.
Al, your response.
Yeah. Well, first of all, if anybody, and I really do feel sorry for anybody that actually believes that when the Celtics, during the midst of all the stuff that I do with my wife, 3 kids, my big 3, my Celtics broadcast, flying around, that I had a meeting with the Celtic brass and I decided who was allowed on the float and not allowed on the float. Like, if you actually believe that, I feel really bad for anybody that actually believes that, or Kendrick Perkins is trying to recruit and say like that somehow I am in control of that. And by the way, I'm not going to go out there and post or anything. I have the text message screenshots of me and Perk, me saying, hey, Perk, I really would love for you to be there, man. This is going to be awesome. But I think you should reach out to Joe and just apologize. Just give him like a, hey, man, you've done a great job. I'm really sorry. And he like took that and he's making it like this. So I think it's a massive distraction from him to say, yeah, I called Joe Mazzulla a terrible name. I called him an idiot. And you can criticize what a coach does. You can criticize what a player does. Like, the general rule is don't call people stupid and then don't go down that road. And because of that, and I don't know if he feels bad about it or he thinks that people are going to believe him, that he's now making this about me. It's not about me. This is not about me. And if anybody actually thinks this is about me, I feel bad for you.
So he's not coming back to Boston at all? He's not welcome back?
He's all good, like, doing the other side. I think the comments about Joe Mazzulla were out of hand. You can't call the coach of the Boston Celtics a dodo bird. Like, you just can't do that. Like, I don't know for a fact that the organization is like, nah, we don't want nothing to do with Kendrick Perkins. Anybody else from '08, anybody else from back in the day, there's old timers coming through all the time. I'm just not sure that, like, Jason Tatum and Joe Mazzulla and Jaylen Brown are going to love when Kendrick Perkins shows up. I'm just not sure about that. It's just so funny how, like, the media is. A lot of people need to be spoon-fed like a baby, right? Like, Joe Mazzulla doesn't call timeouts when they want him to. But then all of a sudden we're making a playoff run and LeBron James comes out and says Joe Mazzulla's a genius. And guess what the rest of ESPN does after that? They all got spoon-fed by their daddy, LeBron James. And all of a sudden now, I guess Joe Mazzulla is a genius. Like, come on, guys.